Young Don is back to teaching.
All I could do, the most I will do, bro, is recommend a book for you to read if you are curious. As what's the book called? You know, there are actually several books, bro, but I feel like I gotta recommend one that's dang, I can't even recommend that book. It's too crazy, bro. You know what I'm saying? Dang, bro, I can't even. Let's see, which book should I recommend? All of these books sound crazy, bro. You just gonna have to look into yourself. Author name, please. I ain't even giving you that. Bro, you got the internet.
So, first you see that Don is asked about books. He's bringing up books in the video, but seemingly he doesn't want to really give them out. For what reason, I don't really know. But he's saying the names are crazy. I mean, there are books called The God Delusion, God is Not Great. I guess maybe he was referring to those. Although he also wouldn't give the name of the author either. So I don't really understand why he didn't want to give it out, but to each its own. If we now fast forward to his February 15th video, we see he's got a complete different demeanor.
And what she needs to do is read a good deconstruction book. She needs someone to absolutely shred this religion to pieces. Let me recommend a few books for people just in case you are ready to be unbrainwashed.
So as you see, he has a definite sudden change in how he feels about giving out his recommended books. So I guess that's very charitable of him to give them out now. But let's go back to the original video now and see what else he said in it.
I wouldn't even recommend you do that if you're having a grand old time. If you're having a great time and you're happy with the way things are going, do it. You know what I'm saying? Keep doing it. More power to you. You know, and that's the thing, because I don't want to convince or sway anybody one way or another. As transparent about where I'm at as I can be without straight up trying to influence anybody one way or another. Now, I haven't given you any real arguments because I'm not trying to convert nobody one way or another. I'm telling you that, you could go and investigate and see what you find. I don't want to argue, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to like put any energy into convincing anyone because I truly don't care, bro. I truly don't care to like lead people in another direction or anything like that.
As we see here, didn't seem like he wanted to really teach on it, didn't really care to debate about it, argue any of that. He even suggested that, hey, if it's working for you, cool. Now let's go back to that February 15th video and see if his demeanor changed outside of the book recommendations.
Because it's a guilt cult that works by constantly making you feel like you are so far from the perfection of Jesus Christ. And Christianity of it in itself is a cult. It's just a really big and old one now. And so of course I would encourage you to deconstruct and come out of that and read some books by academics and professors that rip this religion apart. She needs to read stuff like this and just have the whole thing just torn to pieces from a moralistic point of view, historical inaccuracies, contradictions in the Bible. You need a barrage of things that just completely just rip the foundation of this from under your feet. You can't afford to waste another day, being under this oppressive fairy tale, this oppressive fiction. As a species, we need to move on from this shit, bro, because it's holding us back. It's making us unnecessarily hateful to other people who don't see the world the way we see it, who don't practice the same cultures that we practice. And you know what I'm saying? It's just holding us back. It's holding us back as human beings.
Here we see that it went from not caring to being a cult, oppressive, an oppressive fiction and fairy tale to be specific, makes people unnecessarily hateful and it's holding people back. let's see if he was any different a few years ago.
I've read 2 out of the 4 gospels already. I'm halfway through the third. Bro, I've been a Christian for 3 months.
Well, at this point, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Don said he's been about 3 months in the deconstruction zone. And if not, then a few months, whatever. Regardless, pretty interesting correlation there.
Council of Nasima or something like that, but you don't need to take communion. That is not mandatory for salvation.
Like he is now, it seems like at the beginning of his Christian journey, he was definitely not opposed to teaching either. So let's see what else is familiar.
You're very misinformed on the Catholic Church.
Hey man, don't take it from me. Take it from all the pastors and biblical scholars that you can.
This sounds oddly familiar, doesn't it?
Good luck. You just got debunked again. Go ahead.
No, you're just cherry picking some scholar that agrees with you. I could cherry pick scholars
One
that
minute,
agree
Doc.
with me. This was not that's not the subject of the debate. The subject of debate is the text, not the opinions of various scholars.
We'll go through it all. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you where you're in error, and it's real simple. It's really easy to
Bro,
see what's going
listen,
on
there are
here.
literal dudes with PhDs who have spoken about this at length. Like, you're wrong. I know you have your
I have in my book
you have your
thousands of
fundamentalist.
PhD
No, you
citations.
don't have thousands of PhDs, dude.
I'll show you the book right now. I just released it. It's all citations from scholars. I want to give it to you for free.
Sure, it doesn't matter. The
And
point is there
you
are
can
other
look
scholars
through
with
it.
PhDs that disagree, so you can keep quote mining scholars all you want.
So here we see that nothing's really changed. He brings up his scholars, yet for some reason, when Christians bring up their scholars, it's now cherry picking. Although, if you watch that live stream with JP Uncut, to which I made a reaction to as well, it's not like he was listing off scholars by name and talking about the specifics of it. No, he just said, "Oh, scholars right, so you're wrong." But when the other guy brought up his scholars, not only did Don deny how many scholars he had on his side without even knowing, he also said, "Oh, that's you cherry picking, though. That's different." To where the guy offered to give him his book, and he's like, "Well, it doesn't matter because my scholars disagree." Let me preface my next comments with responding to this first.
A lot of people been talking about me. I didn't realize I was so special. That's crazy.
This is a typical comment you get when a person's, being responded to. "Oh, I didn't know I was so special. I didn't know I was on your minds. I live rent free in your head." These are all just lazy rhetorical comments to try and take steam off of what's about to be said from the opposing side when you're the popular side. What's his response to teaching again?
When you gonna learn to wait to preach your beliefs, bro? 4 months in and you out here evangelizing. It's like you foul what? You're a fall. Oh, you can't spell, bro. Learn how to type, my guy. And everyone here knows it. Okay. I'm happy that's how you feel, my guy. I can do whatever I want. So, how about that? How about that?
Now, although he would probably brush this off as "Oh, well, I don't feel the need to explain myself," it's not just a cop out. It was a cop out. He didn't have an answer, so he didn't give an answer.
And I don't have any beliefs. I already told you that. You have beliefs. You believe in stuff that you can't prove. I don't.
Now he says he doesn't have beliefs, he has logic. Lovely. I'm glad that your belief is that you don't have beliefs, but I'm not going to dignify this comment with putting up a definition in the background like I typically do. If you need to Google what a belief is, then go ahead, but I think we can all acknowledge that even him saying that is his belief. I don't know I don't know if he's equating some kind of blind faith to belief. I don't know if he knows what the definition of belief is, but yeah, I'm going to ignore that comment.
All over the place. But all they did was go to university for 8 years and get PhDs and learn the original languages and don't have the bias of faith to color the lens that they see it through.
First, he brings up this point of scholars, right? And he says that the secular scholars can be, former pastors, and so they're less biased, and they go to real universities They get an unbiased professor. I don't think Don realizes you can have a bias if you're not religious. If you feel like you can only get information, knowledge, things like that from empirical data, things you can touch, see, hear, all these things, right? You're going to have a bias towards that. If you're a scientist and you're atheist, you may have a bias. If you have some hurt from the past or you are a former Christian, you could have a bias. There are multiple ways you can have a bias outside of actually being in the faith. So his comment about acting like these scholars on the secular side are just so unbiased is really misleading. Then my last thing I would address was just him responding to if he's wrong. He gets asked, "What if I'm wrong?"
What if I'm wrong? Well, then that's God's fault. You know what I'm saying? God playing hide and seek with the world.
What was his response? Oh, well, it was God's fault then. Again, this is why I say he's not a good debater. He's not following the line of logic that he likes, right? The issue here is that they ask, what if you're wrong? Don, if you're wrong, that means that Christianity was right, which means God, it can't be his fault because there is no fault for him to have. We're not saying if you're wrong from your secular perspective, how does that work in a secular worldview? No, we're saying, what if you're wrong? Therefore, Christianity right. Therefore, it was not God's fault. It was your fault. That'll be my last point. This will be my last video about Don, unless he just does something crazy. But he said he would like to put a bow on it after this last stream that he did. Hopefully, hopefully that's true. Let's hope so, because unless he's coming back to Christianity, Christians do not need to be watching a guy just constantly talking about stuff he does not know about. Like I always say, pray for him, and if you do have a conversation with him, if you know him, whatever the case may be, go to his worldview and his epistemology. Make him understand you need a justification for a worldview. Thank you guys for watching. He can't see that maybe I was wrong in the situation. Let me not possibly spread my current feelings to other ignorant people just in case I become, let's say, a Christian again in 6 months, because it could happen. And now I just let all these people out of the faith. You just got to be more responsible with what you say.